Together with Deputy Chief Patrol Agent Carl Landrum. I would like to thank all of you for being here this morning. Laredo Sector is committed to maintaining a safe and secure border and continues to work in collaboration with federal, state, local agencies, as well as our local and international media partners. Thank you. And now, please help me to welcome our Chief Patrol Agent, Matthew Hudak, to commence the Laredo Sector Media Briefing. Chief, I will sanitize it for you.
Okay, well, good morning, everyone, and as Sarah said, a warm welcome and thank you for joining us today. It has been a little while since we've had the opportunity to get together for one of these events, or really, any large event. So we're glad to have the opportunity. Thanks to our hosts at the rail yard here this morning for allowing us to be here, and certainly thank you to all of you for taking the time to be here. So far this year, this fiscal year, across the U.S. Border Patrol, over 4,993 rescues have occurred. 3,344 of those, about 68%, have occurred here in the Laredo sector. That's a 124% increase over the same time period last year. Nationwide, motor vehicle-related rescues account for the highest percentage. Environmental-related, including heat and cold exposure, are the second highest. Train and water rescues are nearly neck and neck. In the Laredo sector, 10% of our rescues, over 367, are environmental related. 81%, or 2,720, are motor vehicle related. Unfortunately, this year, along with all of those rescues, we have actually recorded 20 deaths so far this fiscal year here in the Laredo sector. Unfortunately, 2 of those occurred just within the last 24 hours. So we're here at a very timely subject that we're talking about this morning. So the question, why are these rescues, and unfortunately, why are these deaths occurring? The fact remains that smugglers and criminal organizations are guiding migrants into dangerous areas, often leaving them behind, lost, without water. The migrants will leave them behind at any sign that they are unable to keep up with the rest of the group, and they become a liability. They will literally leave them for dead. If the smugglers think that there might be a chance of them getting apprehended or detected by our agents, they will leave the group, again, leaving them behind for dead. These migrants that are being guided through these areas by the smuggling organizations, they don't know where they are, they don't know where they're going, and they don't know where to find water, all of which are components to a very dangerous and potentially deadly situation. I'm going to give you a couple of recent examples of cases involving rescues and unfortunately deaths that have occurred here within our sector. On April 8th, Hebronville Station agents responded to a call from a man here in the United States reporting that his wife was left behind by smugglers. She was unable to keep up with the group and was left behind, and she was talking to her husband, trying to get help. He didn't know where she was. The information that she was able to give him and he was able to give us, we were able to dispatch agents to that area. After approximately 2 hours of searching, we were able to find the female. Unfortunately, by then, she had already lost her life to the harsh South Texas conditions. Very tragic situation, and despite the best efforts by the agents to find her, the outcome was not what we wanted. And in this case, the smugglers literally left her on the side of a remote ranch road in the middle of the brushlands to lose her life. On April 7th, Laredo West agents and our Horse Patrol agents responded to a 911 call from a motorist along Mines Road who had been flagged down by a young child looking for help for his mother that was in grave distress. I would like to introduce and call up Border Patrol Agent Melendez to share his account of that story. Agent Melendez.
Thank you, Chief. When we responded to the area where we had the juvenile, you can physically and visually see how distressed this juvenile was. He was very stressed out because he didn't know if his mom was going to make it. As me and my partners approached the area, he didn't know exactly where she was. So we had to spread out a couple of feet apart from each other and start looking through the brush. He had advised that his mom was unresponsive and severely dehydrated. As we started searching the area, fortunately, my fellow agents were able to locate the mother of the child. We provided first aid to the lady and we assisted the child. As a father myself, I could see the distress of the child, the look in his face, how concerned he was because of his mother. But fortunately, we were able to provide assistance. Our Border Patrol EMT arrived on scene, continued to provide medical assistance until emergency arrived on scene. Luckily, this situation turned out to be a good one and that family stayed together. I cannot stress the importance of the job that the men and women of the Border Patrol do. We were able to keep this family together. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, sir. So very fortunately, the outcome of that rescue was positive. After the woman was treated at the hospital, she ended up being released and ultimately survived that incident. If you get a chance later, the pictures that you see here, that is of that incident and that rescue. So thank you, Agent Melendez and your team. Great work, as always. Another case, April 8th, Hebronville Station agents observing a freight train in motion, traveling along the tracks, observed one of these grain hoppers looked suspicious. The manner in which it was closed and the way the container was did not look right. The agents requested the train stop for inspection. Upon inspection of the rail car, similar to the one you see behind me, Border Patrol agents located 20 people locked inside that train car. Once they get in that car and down to the bottom of it, it's like a funnel on the inside. When they get in there, there's no way to climb up. There's no ladder in there. It's not meant to hold people. It's meant to hold grain. It's meant to allow it to flow freely out the chutes at the bottom. So Border Patrol agents had to use ladders and other equipment to get those 20 people out of the train car. 2 of those subjects were already experiencing issues related to dehydration and were treated for medical issues related to that. Unfortunately, in that situation, everyone survived. These are only a few cases that I've given you this morning, but they're examples of the conditions and the situations that our agents encounter. They also demonstrate that smugglers do not care about the lives of the migrants that they are smuggling. To them, migrants are cargo and nothing more than a means for profit. They will literally leave them behind to perish when it costs them too much to stay with them. It is my intent and the intent of this sector to hold smugglers and brush guides criminally accountable for their actions, for their role in deaths that result as part of their criminal acts in smuggling. At the same time, we will continue to do our best to rescue as many people as possible, to answer all of those 911 calls, and to save as many lives as possible. So what are we doing to prevent these deaths? Well, you see with us today some of the technology that we've been deploying. The rescue beacons that you see to my right, we currently have 4 fixed beacons deployed within the sector, and we have 13 of these mobile units that we'll be deploying within the next few weeks. We are proactively deploying Border Patrol agents with life-saving capabilities, including EMTs, paramedics, and our BORSTAR, Border Patrol Search, Trauma, and Rescue teams to remote areas that we know are of higher risk, where we can hopefully intervene, stop groups early before somebody's life is put in danger. They'll also be in positions to more quickly respond to 911 distress calls. Events like today are also important. They're an opportunity for us to get information out, to continue to get the message out that attempting to enter this country illegally is dangerous and it could potentially cost you your life. Not only do migrants face threats from the criminal organizations themselves, including kidnapping, extortion, sexual assault, and other crimes. But there are significant threats from the natural environment and the methods used by smugglers, including train cars like you see here, the use of tractor trailers, and the days-long treks through the South Texas brush. Every life is important. The best way for us to save a life is to not put it at risk in the first place. Once again, we ask that people not put their lives at risk by attempting to enter the United States illegally. Stay home, stay safe, and stay alive. La mejor manera de salvar una vida es no ponerla en riesgo. Una vez más pedimos que las personas no pongan en riesgo sus vidas al intentar entrar ilegalmente a los Estados Unidos. Quédate en casa, mantente a salvo y mantente con vida. Cada vida es importante y no queremos ver otra vida perdida haciendo este peligroso viaje. So with that, thank you very much. We'll have an opportunity for you to visit with our agents here at the different displays. We'll make ourselves available for some questions as well. But most of all, I appreciate you taking the time to be here with us today and to help us get this important message out there. And the message is not only intended to be directed at the migrants that are considering making the journey here, but also the family members, the friends and relatives that are here in this country that are encouraging other family members to make that dangerous journey, sometimes paying for those journeys. They are part of the cycle that is putting these migrants at risk. And we ask them to encourage their friends and family members to stay home, stay safe, and stay alive. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. That concludes our ceremony, our media briefing today. Thank you so much for being out here and, of course, covering every single story day in, day out for the Border Patrol. I truly appreciate it. We all truly appreciate it. Without your help, without the messaging, nobody would know what's going on in our community. So right now, I'm going to divide some of the media for one-on-one interviews. I know all of you want to interview the chief, but we're going to divide it. We have our chief, we have our deputy, and we also have our division chief. So if I can have Univision and Fox go with the chief really quick, Cesar with LMT, Ken's 5, we have Mauricio here also, and Rogelio, I think, wanted to interview the chief, so we'll do that. We'll also have our deputy, Marisa for Telemundo and NBC, Juan Rodriguez,